Hello and welcome to Media MD, the podcast where each fortnight we prescribe each other a piece of media that we have somehow missed. I'm Reuben Morehouse.
And I'm Elliot Diebold.
And last week, Elliot, we promised that we would discuss TBD, which we hadn't decided at the time, but we've decided now, but you still haven't told me. So I'm sitting here eagerly in suspense, waiting to find out what we'll be talking about.
Yeah, well, so I realized going back sort of on the catalog of stuff that we've done since the annual checkup, there's been a pretty heavy skewing towards sci-fi or thereabouts.
Yep.
I think, particularly, I think I've brought you The Expanse and Push, and that's about
yes.
And I think the only other one I had was Wet Hot American Summer, and then between that we've been doing weeks on like Dark Matter and Black Mirror, so.
So we've been hitting the science fiction topic a fair amount.
So I thought I would go away from that, and I think I've gone about as far as possible in terms of target demographics.
Okay, that's okay. I'm a little worried now. Sure.
So what I'm bringing today is, and don't judge a book by its cover. Although this isn't a book, it's a show. It's a TV show called Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. On the CW in America.
All right, no judgment here. Look,
it's on Netflix and everything.
We all know the story of the CW. We all know what kind of shows they're into. So I'm trying to not be judgmental. I'll keep an open mind.
Well, so definitely the CW sort of has two shows because I was reading up on it. And, the CW is a hybrid of like CBS and Warner Brothers. So Warner Brothers has all the comic book shows, which are a story in and of themselves in terms of quality, and then CBS tends to contribute the other half of the shows, which the big ones are sort of like, I don't know, Gossip Girl. I think the big one at the moment is Riverdale. It's all very teenage drama garbage, and Crazy Ex-Girlfriend at a surface level sits in that half, so it's one of the CBS parts.
So it's garbage, is what you're trying to say.
No, it's a diamond in the rough. It's I found out about this because I saw the co-creator and star being interviewed, and she seemed pretty funny. So I looked up a trailer for the show and thought, oh, that looks all right. So I showed it to
Who's this person?
So her name's Rachel Bloom. I haven't really seen or heard of her in anything else. But she's like I said, co-creator and the star of this show. So she's obviously heavily involved. And
sure.
She seemed pretty funny. So I showed the trailer to my girlfriend and we decided to watch it. And I thought it was going to be one of those things where it was like she'd enjoy it and I'd be okay with it. But it ended up being, we're both actually super into it, and this is one of those shows that we actually quite look forward to. It airs on Friday nights, so catching it up on Saturday is has become a bit of a ritual. But
sure.
So it's basically the premise is there in the name. Rachel Bloom plays this really, like, she's like Harvard and Yale educated lawyer who is still obsessed with a boy she dated at summer camp when she was like 15. And he's a guy who works in a retail store down in California. So she one day she just quits her job in New York at a prestigious law firm to go and stalk him in California.
All right, sure, as you do.
And then sort of meets she gets a job at a crappy little law firm in this crappy little town in California, and there's a cast of crazy wacky characters who work there, and also the guy Josh who she's stalking and his friends and his girlfriend, his current girlfriend, are they're all a bit wacky as well, and that's really, the show is just funny, and it's a good set of characters, and it's a funny show. It's clever humor, if that makes sense. It's there's lots of nice little quips and stuff going around.
Okay, so it's clever. It's a clever comedy, is what you're saying.
Yeah. I think so. You could come back next week and tell me I'm wrong. But
yeah,
that's my
I'm
opinion.
sure I'll provide commentary on this in 2 weeks. But Okay, cool.
But so the other, well, the big gimmick
is this the show? Okay, sorry, you go.
Well, so the big gimmick.
I think I've heard about this show because I said you go, and now I'm going to interrupt you. I think I've heard about this show because of. Is this the show that's also a musical?
Yes, that's what I was about to discuss. The big gimmick of this show is that it's also a musical. So they do. There's probably 2, maybe 3 songs in each episode. So I mean, there are some people who that would be sort of an instant turn off for, I guess, because I mean, I think the only other show that I really know that's done that sort of thing consistently is Glee.
Flight of the Conchords.
Which is really not. Yeah.
What about Flight of the Conchords, mate? That's a musical show.
Yeah, actually, okay, good point. I guess it is. I hadn't even thought. I didn't even think of that. Yeah, okay. This is more on the Flight of the Conchords side of the spectrum in terms of quality.
Because it's a comedy, right?
Yeah, it is, and so the show, the songs are often sort of, I mean, parodies, I guess would be the best term. Like maybe quite loosely indirect, but
like
I think
Weird Al Yankovic style.
Not quite that much, but it's mostly they're sort of genre parodies. So it's sort of like each song, like particularly in the first season, I don't think they really reuse a genre of music once. So they like a country song in one episode and a rap song in another one. And they're all kind of satirizing the genre of the song as well as just the situation that is currently in the episode. So, there's often a reason that they've, sort of broken into song. And it's often, so it ties into both the situational comedy and then often there's also little jabs at whatever style of music they're currently emulating.
The thing I would be curious about with this is, how many seasons deep is this show?
It's currently halfway through the 3rd season.
Okay, have you ever rewatched the first or second seasons?
I rewatched the first 3 episodes in preparation for this.
Okay, and did the songs in that rewatch, how did they hold up?
The ones in the first episode, I didn't enjoy as much, but by the second one, I was back into it.
Okay, because that to me is a pretty good metric for evaluating something like this, where TV shows can kind of go either way, where it's a throwaway thing that they do, and it's kind of not that great, but it's okay when you're just watching through the show. But then the importance of the rewatch to me is it tells you whether it holds up as just outside of a completely random thing that they kind of do, Sure.
Yeah, well, so the first episode just sticks. It's just sort of show tune songs. And they even do like a reprise of one of the songs. So they almost stick to the sort of classic musical formula. And I think it's the second one where they more jump into the whole idea. That's when they start parodies. Yeah, they start mixing in different genres. And the songs, I also felt like the actual lyrics picked up as well.
Okay. Well, yeah, I mean it's not a unique concept, but it's interesting enough of a concept and still kind of novel enough of a concept that I think it warrants investigation, let's just say.
Yeah. No, I think like what sort of really, because you're like, it's a fairly simple premise, she's a sort of crazy ex-girlfriend or whatever, and there's songs and stuff, but what it's just done quite well. Like the songs are really good, and like I said, the cast of characters are actually genuinely funny. There's not really any weak characters in terms of the humor.
Is she self-aware? Like,
not really. Like, and that, so her mental health is actually sort of a huge part of the sort of ongoing plot, and in fact it's something the show's been praised for, I know, a lot, is its depiction of mental health and
Interesting.
So what she's actually going through at the moment in season 3 is she's sort of officially been diagnosed, and that's sort of been a whole thing, but yeah, that it's definitely, she has moments of self-awareness, but in general, no, she's a bit of a master of self-delusion. And the other thing is, all these people she's surrounded herself with may not have been, they're either enablers or they have issues of their own that she sort of exploits unknowingly and that sort of thing. Yeah, but no, in general, I think she's, one of the big plot points is that she's actually a bit of a master of self-delusion.
That's interesting. I feel like that's probably, because like when you describe this concept, it feels very I don't know, it feels very sitcom-y and maybe a bit shallow, but I think where the show would potentially have longevity is how she deals with, like, who she is and how her condition kind of, how her character kind of grows.
Yeah, no, that's definitely true, and that's what's happening now in season 3.
Interesting.
And because you're right, it sort of had to grow, otherwise it would have just been doing the same thing over and over again. So they get season 1 gets quite a lot out of this just initial premise, and there's 18 45-minute episodes in season 1, so I don't even know if you'll really make it to season 2.
Long, yeah, that's interesting, because I would say that probably, well, from what you described, it sounds like it would have that longevity that would make it get more interesting as you get more connected to the characters. So I would even say that I'm expecting that I'll probably like season 1 the least, but I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, potentially. I'm trying to even remember. I only found the show when it was like towards the end of season 2, and we kind of marathon the whole thing. So the exact lines between season 1 and 2 are a bit blurry.
Sure.
Yeah, there's just
It sounds interesting. It sounds interesting to me. It sounds like it's got enough of a combination of different, interesting, and fairly unique points that it could be quite a good show to.
Yeah.
Could be the kind of show that I actually pick up for the long term. So I feel like it's a pretty good rec. You've done it service in making it sound appealing, and I guess we'll see how accurate you've been in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So I guess I'll go off and watch as much of it as I can. God, if there's 18 45-minute episodes, Elliot, it might be a bit of a struggle to get through season 1, but I'll give it a try.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily expecting you to even get past season 1, but we'll see how you go.
Okay. And I guess we'll pop up a discussion thread so everyone can kind of leave their comments if they're watching along with us. And the link to that will be in the show notes down below, I suppose.
Yep.
Jeez. All right. Well, we'll see you back here next week. But for now, good luck. Good watching.